The foam is brilliant, the plate is smart, and they only weigh 7.6 ounces on a 40mm stack. But I still couldn't get on with this one. The SuperComp Rebel version 1 came with a lot of noise this year. A 40mm stack, a brand new Infinion foam, a propulsion plate that's bottom loaded, and 7.6 ounces for a size US men's 9 at $200. It's definitely a super trainer to consider, right? Usually the interesting part of my reviews is the ride. This time it's definitely the fit, because the technical package is genuinely strong, but I just still couldn't get on with this one. I've read the other reviews and I agree with them on the foam, the plate and the weight. Where I differ is fit and underfoot geometry, and that difference is decisive rather than cosmetic. Before I get into those details, let's go over the key specs. They cost $200. I'll let you know at the end of this review if I believe they're worth that price tag. They weigh 7.6 ounces or 215 grams. That's for a size US men's 9, my pair. That's actually very lightweight for a super trainer like this. They have a 4mm drop. That's 40mm at the heel and 36mm under the forefoot. A little unusual for a super trainer to have a 4mm drop, but I kind of like it. The upper uses a phantom fit engineered mesh with TPU reinforcements, gusseted tongue, structured heel counter, and light to moderate collar padding. The midsole has full-length Infinion foam, a supercritical ATPU TPE foam with a rocket geometry. And the outsole has targeted rubber coverage, which is incredibly thin in places because of how low this plate sits. When it comes to sizing and fit, they are true to size in length, but that's the least interesting thing about this discussion. The last is very much race specific. It feels more like a super shoe rather than a super trainer. It's very narrow in the midfoot, and I think you're gonna have to size up a half size just to get a much more comfortable fit on the run. But that's gonna make the shoe a little bit long. The tongue is an interesting one as well. It does have a lot of padding, but it's strangely rigid once it curves. So once you've done up the laces and it's in place on top of your feet, when you do put pressure forwards, when you start moving, walking or running, the tongue doesn't flex in this forward position very well because of how it's structured. That means it does put a little bit of unnecessary pressure on the front of your foot. Weird. The collars and heel counter are nicely padded. I'd say they've got medium amount of padding or cushioning in there. And it's worth noting that these collar walls do sit fairly high, higher than most running shoes out there. So if you do have low ankle bone geometry, you know who you guys are. I like calling you out when I do come across a shoe with a high collar. Well, these might not be for you. I highly recommend trying them on first, just in case they do put too much pressure on your ankle bones. Heel lockdown is fantastic, and because you've got a narrow midfoot, the midfoot lockdown is very good as well. Who's it going to fit best? Well, definitely those who have narrow feet, just because of the width of the midfoot. If you have wide feet, you might have to wait for a wide version if that's coming. Or try sizing up, but you're going to have to try them on in store. If you're enjoying this review so far, please give the video a like. Really appreciate it. And if you see that hype button down there, make sure you tap it. I really appreciate that too. That tells YouTube that you're enjoying the video, and hopefully it will show it to more people. And if you've had experience in the SuperComp Rebel version 1, I want to get your thoughts, your opinions. Did you like it? Do you hate it? Please put as much information as you can in the comments. That's going to help people who come to this video looking to decide whether or not it's going to be their next super trainer. Well, it's going to help them decide whether or not to buy it. So as much information as you can. Really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more running shoe roundups, comparison videos, and running shoe reviews just like this one. And hit that notification bell. That'll let you know as soon as new videos drop, because you're not going to want to miss what's coming up. Moving on to my performance review, I'm going to start by talking about the ride of this shoe, because that really is the most important thing. This is a super trainer. This is a quiver killer, so it's supposed to take out 3 of your training shoes, from a daily trainer to a tempo running shoe and even long run comfort shoes. The midsole is bouncy, fun, energetic, propulsive, and it's got a really nice spread or balance to it. So it is softer at the heel and midfoot and firms up a little bit at the forefoot to get you that nice explosive takeoff. No complaints there in terms of what the technology is doing, but the geometry of it is a little bit off for me. More on that in just a moment. The weight to stack height ratio is genuinely impressive here as well. Having a 40mm stack on a shoe that only weighs 7.6 ounces for a size US men's 9, well, that's really impressive. And you feel the lightness on the run. It makes you want to pick up your cadence and just run faster, more snappy, quicker turnover, and just makes you feel more light-footed and agile on the run. It's a very nice feeling. And what's interesting about the plate here is how bottom loaded or low it sits within the midsole. You can see it's higher at the heel. That's me tapping it there. And you can see this section under the rubber compound where it goes dark. That's literally a window to the carbon plate. So you can see how low down it is. It's right under the rubber. Normally you'd have foam between the rubber and the carbon plate. Not so on the SuperComp Rebel version 1. And what that does is allow you to have or benefit from as much foam during landing or takeoff as you can before you get the energy return of the plate. So it's actually quite smart what they've done. I haven't seen that before, and it does work really well. The technology's there and it's clear on the run that it's actually working. But that does mean it's less aggressive than, say, a super shoe or a race day carbon plated running shoe. But that's the point. This is a trainer. It's a super trainer. So you don't want an aggressive or overly stiff running shoe, because then you're going to be overstraining during training, when actually you just want to get the most out of your capability and push hard on race day with a stiffer shoe, if that's how you like to race. Transition is buttery smooth because of this technology going on here. You've got a really nice bouncy, energetic, compressive foam which bounces back, responds well, and then when you initiate the plate you actually get some extra flex from that as well in forward propulsion. Now let's talk about the arch support in here, because it's a little bit weird. I'm feeling it more on the lateral side, so that's the outside edge of the shoe, and it feels slightly too far forward. So the shape of this shoe, or the foot it's been modeled on, is quite different to most other New Balance running shoes, and I feel like a lot of people are going to notice that. They're going to pick up on it, especially as this is so fine-tuned or narrow in the midfoot. There's no leeway or room to move into a different position on the shoe, so you're kind of forced to get that arch feel where it is. With that said, if you're an overpronator, this is definitely not going to be for you, because it feels like you've got the arch support on the wrong side of your foot for that. But if you supinate or underpronate and you tend to roll on the outside, the lateral edge of the shoe, well, actually this could be a good super trainer for you. Worth trying out. What's the result of all that for me personally? Well, it feels clunky. A 7.6 ounce running shoe with Infinion foam and a geometry like this should not feel clunky on the run, but because it doesn't fit my foot, it does. I don't know what to tell you. It disappoints me because there's so much great stuff going on here, and I feel like it's just because it doesn't fit me well, it's not performing very well. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this one. Has anyone else experienced this? When it comes to durability, the outsole is actually holding up really well. I'm not seeing too much wear here at all. So that's promising to see that I probably will get plenty of miles out of this one. But like I said, it's just not for me, so I'm not going to continue running in this one. It just doesn't feel comfortable or smooth enough for me personally. When it comes to breathability, I'd say it's average. So it's going to be good for shoulder seasons or most places, as long as you don't live anywhere crazy hot, like Florida, like where I live. then you won't notice that at all, and it will actually keep your feet nice and warm as we go into fall. So this could be a good option for marathon training right now. If you're wondering where the SuperComp Rebel version 1 sits in my best Super Trainers roundup right now, follow that link up there. That'll take you directly to my website where I keep all my roundups up to date very regularly. As and when I review running shoes, I update those lists. So if you are shopping around for a super trainer, that's where you're going to find the right one for you. So is the New Balance SuperComp Rebel version 1 worth $200? Well, this is going to be incredibly polarizing, this one. It's one that you've got to try on for sure to make sure it fits your foot shape. There's no denying the technology that's gone into this and the geometry of what they've done with this bottom loaded plate. And it is a pretty stable shoe as well. There's a lot of great stuff going on. It's just got to fit your foot. For me, no. I would not pay $200 for this just because it does not fit me. It feels clunky on the run to me and it's just not that enjoyable. But for the right foot shape, this could be a total sleeper. It's going to replace 3 of your running shoes. That makes that $200 very worthwhile. And it's fast, very lightweight and fun to run in. The Infinion foam is so bouncy, so much energy return. And I love the fact that you get a nice explosive takeoff because of what they've done here. So summarizing, try it on. If it fits you, you're probably going to absolutely love it. If it doesn't fit you that well, it's going to be out. I really hope you enjoyed this SuperComp Rebel version 1 review. If you've got any questions at all, maybe I missed something, I am human, drop it in the comments down below. I reply to everyone. And if you didn't before, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more running shoe roundups, comparison videos, and reviews just like this one. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.